Hi everyone, my name's Ryan.
And I'm Lawrence. We're here in Toronto at the Tool Library, and we're on a mission to free your tools and change the way we share.
A few years ago, a group of us met as environmental activists. We were obsessed with documentary films, lectures, and learning how to build a sustainable society.
But we wanted to start taking real action. So we started a non-profit called the Institute for a Resource-Based Economy.
Our first big project was building Toronto's first tool library. With dozens of volunteers, we transformed a basement dungeon into a beautiful community hub for sharing tools.
Before the library even opened, the media picked up on the story and tool donations started coming in.
Now we've been open a few months, and we've loaned out over 1,000 tools.
With a 100% return rate.
To people in the community who can do renovations and projects that just weren't possible before.
My name is Victoria. I'm one of the founding members of the Tool Library. The idea is simple. Remove the barriers standing in the way to accessing resources. Buying tools is expensive and inefficient when most people only need to use them just a few times. Borrowing from the library not only gives tools a second life in many different households, but also makes communities more resilient. Individuals are empowered to build and create with their very own hands.
I'm building a chair. It's hard to just buy all these tools and then store them at your house. Being able to come here and just take them as you need them and then return them is definitely way better.
As amazing as this tool library is, people want more. It's time for us to have a workshop, a makerspace, on the east end of town for more people to use.
The library has also received so many donated tools that we need another space just to make use of them.
The East End Tool Library and Makerspace will be fully stocked with 3D printers, a laser cutter, and woodworking tools for members to use on-site with 24/7 access.
The 1,900 square foot makerspace is truly a community project. With both youth programming and training, this is our opportunity to create an affordable workshop accessible to everyone.
But we need your help to get there. The space is completely empty, looks like a disaster, and we need your help to fix it up.
The Institute needs $16,000 to finish renovations and set up our East End workshop for success. We have some amazing rewards to offer you for your support, including memberships, workshops, and some cool 3D prints.
Donate today, share this video, and join us for the sharing revolution.
The Halifax Tool Library.
I think of like a big room that's full of all kinds of crazy tools.
Like a huge Kent.
And it's probably smells a little bit like grease, but there's a bunch of cool people around.
A library is a source of books and everything,
Yep.
so I would assume a library would be a source of tools.
That's what I think of.
It sounds weird, but is this possible?
Probably along the lines of, say, a co-op. So everybody has a membership, you pay into a little bit, so that would just take care of the maintenance and upkeep of the tools themselves.
I feel like the idea of having a tool library and having tool rentals is a really, really good idea.
Like, I can share with my friends, so why not share with the entire community? I think that's one of the beauties of a library, is like, I want to read this book, but when I'm done with it, I'm not going to need it anymore.
I could see people like willing their old tools to the tool library. You know, old guys and old ladies who've got these crazy workshops full of stuff. I think it would be great if they could just be like, oh look, a bunch of people want to put this to good use. Here's all our stuff, use it. I'm just glad we didn't have to deal with it.
My dream for a Halifax Tool Library would be a 24-hour workspace where people can go and at any time of the day learn and borrow.
You go buy something cheap because it looks all right, and it's not so great when you get it home, whereas if you had the right tools, maybe you would have even considered building it yourself. No.
My ideal tool library would be an environment where I could walk in, I'd have instructors on hand, so even if there's a tool I wasn't comfortable with, I have somebody there that can use it and has used it multiple times, and they're not worried about using it, and they're not worried about teaching me how to use it.
You know, the economy is tightening up, and people are resourceful. And if there are resources there that they can lean on to use, they'll do more on their own.
It helps people access stuff that they might not otherwise have access to if they're not individually wealthy.
For the amount of money that I would spend in a year on buying tools that I'm only going to use once or twice, I think it's better if I just go and pay the membership fee. I'm definitely going to get my money's worth. And it's going to encourage me as well, because once I put that money down, I'm going to make sure I build everything I want to build.
As a non-profit association, the Halifax Tool Library
can help foster the sharing resource economy, which promotes learning
and builds a new market where we don't have to buy things.
Only to use it a few times.
As a tool library volunteer,
You can really make things happen.
You can share your favorite skills and do amazing things with others.
if you've only just heard, there's this community tool thing.
Where everyone can borrow, lend, and learn as a member of the library.
Just remember why as kids, we all like to do stuff.
Rather than own things.
Which just ended up in the corner of the basement anyways.
This is the place we all can use, full of tools
to make and do.
I'm Russell Beard and I've come to West London to meet 33-year-old Sam Stevens. He set up a website called Street Bank. It's all about getting people together to share anything from children's toys to gardening equipment and hopefully reduce the amount of stuff that ends up in landfill. Sam, how are you? Russell.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us.
Come on in.
This is lovely. What is Street Bank? How did you set it up and what's it all about?
So Street Bank is a website that lets you see what your neighbours will lend to you or give away or the skills they'll share. And it shows you everything within a mile of your front door.
I love that. So as soon as you see it, you know that it's walking distance.
Yes, exactly that. And as you can see, there are 373 people in the area that I live in and 664 items and skills. If you want to join, you can just fill in the details.
Russell Beard, I'll have to pledge something in order to join it. That's how it works.
It's totally free to join, and you can join anywhere in the world, but you do have to show that you're community spirited.
For example, most UK households have an electric drill, which on average is used for less than 15 minutes in its entire lifetime. Street Bank reduces this waste by allowing one drill to be shared by many houses. So you've set up Street Bank, but do you actually use it yourself?
Yeah, I do use it. In fact, the original vision for Street Bank was so that I could borrow some hedge trimmers from my next door neighbour. And as you'll see from the hedge is completely overgrown. I've never got round to cutting my hedge. So we're gonna find some hedge trimmers, but because it's high up, we also need a stepladder. And I'm gonna send a little message, ask to borrow.
I mean, this is a genuinely social network.
I think that lots of social networking websites take people away from actually having human physical contact.
Yeah.
Rachel, hi, good to see you, nice to see you. We've come to borrow some step ladders, if that's possible.
Step ladder.
Oh, magnificent.
Here we go. Not magnificent, but it works.
Brilliant, thank you so much.
Okay. And anything else?
Yeah, if you had a rake.
So tell us a little bit about how you heard about it and what motivated you to...
Well, I'd moved to the area, so I thought I'd go on it, and I had a few bits and pieces to give away, like baby clothes that my baby had already grown out of. And this is Emily.
Hi, Emily.
So Emily got a sand pit.
She's a big fan of Street Bank.
Yeah. We go on quite a lot because I find it's a good way not to buy new toys. And this will go back on Street Bank.
Look at the way they've given us step ladders to the short guy. Now, there's an actual hedge trimmer about a 5-minute walk around the corner, so we're just going to dump our stuff here and go and pick that up and then get to work.
These are my kind neighbours promoting Street Bank.
Hey!
So you'll see a few of these Street Bank stickers. Here he is. Christian.
Hello, mate.
Hello, nice to see you.
And you, how are you?
You're very well, thank you. I was wondering if I could pick up this
Certainly.
to borrow.
All ready for you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and I'm sure it'll serve you very well.
Thank you so much.
Excellent service you provide here.
Thank you so much.
You know, these limited and infrequently used items take up so much space, there's no point at all holding on to them.
Yeah. Have you ever used Streetbank yourself? Putting you on the spot?
Yeah, for ladders. I mean, who wants to keep ladders in their house?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a chap down the end of the road who has a ladder.
Right.
And I think, you know, there's 100 odd houses in this street.
Yeah.
And if one of them has a ladder, that's enough for all of us, right? Yeah, indeed.
Okay then.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
So we're nearly there. We've got a hedge trimmer, we've got a rake and brush.
Yeah, this is Judy.
This is Judy.
Who's going to lend us some clippers, and if we're lucky, if she has enough time, she's going to come and help us out as well.
I think I know more of Sam's neighbours than I do of my own now, which is quite funny.
I'm Judy. Hi.
Judy,
Hello
nice to
there.
meet you.
Hi. It's wonderful to be able to share things. We've all got things we don't use very often. Yeah. And it's lovely for someone else to be able to use them sometimes too. Makes you feel good.
This is the
That's where it all began.
It's amazing.
Wow.
So what's so good about sharing, Sam?
It keeps stuff out of landfill. That's got to be good. And if you look at what we've just done today, the carbon footprint, if we'd done that on our own, would be massive. You know, there'd have been some huge supply chain to make the hedge trimmer. It would have been shipped across from China. It would have sat in B&Q, would have driven to B&Q. All of that takes energy. Instead, what we've done is used an existing hedge trimmer that already is out there, and we've walked there. I mean, it's as close to zero carbon footprint as you can get. We think it can be a really big idea. It grows by about 400 or 500 people a month, but it's been spreading entirely by word of mouth. And I think the thing that we want to see is what's happening in this area, happening across every neighbourhood in Britain and indeed the world.
Yeah, so do you think it's fair that we call Sam a local hero?
Ah, totally. Total local hero, if not more than a local hero.
I guess community, I think, is going to be our route out of the environmental crisis that we face. We want to develop a sharing habit in people around the world.